Impact Wrestling Emergence 2023 is this Sunday, August 27th in Toronto at the Rebel Entertainment Centre. Will Deonna Purrazzo win back the Knockouts Championship, or will Trinity defeat her for the second time? That is the main event of this show and will be the final match I'll be discussing here today. 6 matches announced at the time of recording. I do believe new champions will be crowned. I do believe that we'll be building to Bound for Glory through this show, and well, maybe you might hear a rant from me from one of the matches that has been announced also. So plenty of reasons to like and share this video around. Subscribe to SCW if you're new here, and without further ado, let's not waste any time getting straight into it. We have got the Impact World Tag Team Championships on the line. Subculture defending against the Rascalz. The Rascalz, of course, winning a #1 contenders match to get this spot, beating Rich Swann and Sami Callihan to get themselves in this position. I think we're getting new champions. I've said this for a while. Since Zachary Wentz returned, I thought that these two would be your next Impact World Tag Team Champions. Now, of course, at the time when I said that, we actually got new champions in Subculture. However, I do believe there'll be transitional champions. I think the Rascalz win here, and I think that we start building the Rascalz versus ABC for Bound for Glory. Next, let's talk about the 8-man tag team match. We've got Time Machine and Josh Alexander taking on Bully Ray, Moose, Brian Myers, and Lio Rush. This started because it looked like we were going to get Alex Shelley versus Josh Alexander confirmed once again. Of course, Josh Alexander confronting Shelley at the end of Slammiversary, showing he was back and ready to win his world title back, the one he never lost. Of course, Alex Shelley has done a great job as world champion in the meantime, but as that was about to be announced, Bully Ray, Moose, and Brian Myers all made a devastating alliance, blindsiding the two stars in ring. Whilst Kushida managed to try and thwart the attack, he found himself at the receiving end of a beatdown. Of course, 1 week later, Lio Rush would join Bully Ray's team also, but of course that meant that the numbers advantage were with the heels, but not for so long. Chris Sabin returning from injury would even out the numbers, and personally for me, there's a lot of variables that work well in this match. Of course, when we're talking about Alex Shelley and Josh Alexander, that potentially could be your Bound for Glory main event there. Of course, Moose and Brian Myers have been looking to get themselves back into world title contention. We've got Chris Sabin, who is needing revenge over Lio Rush over the X Division Championship. Kushida, I believe, still has an opportunity to challenge for that championship. Wouldn't be surprised if that's the match at Bound for Glory, Kushida versus Lio Rush. So yeah, there's a lot of variables that are on the line in this match, a lot of high stakes, and why it makes a lot of sense to have an 8-man tag team match. For me, I'm going with Time Machine and Josh Alexander to pick up the W. Josh Alexander just returning back to Impact Wrestling. Would seem silly for him to take an L in my personal opinion. Like I say as well, Shelley versus Alexander could be that main event program. Also, with Kushida potentially going for the X Division Championship, Sabin looking for revenge. For me, it makes most sense that the babyfaces win. Let's talk about the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Now, Sanada making a big, long-awaited return to Impact Wrestling. Of course, he was in the mid-2010s with the company for about a year. Was a great X Division champion, had some great matches in his time as well. He's now gone on to do great things in New Japan, of course, and he's now actually the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. He's taken on Jake something. Now, I told you there could be a rant coming in this video. This is where it's going to be, because, well, if Sanada was a bit upset with Forbidden Door against Jungle Boy, not really knowing who he is, coming out and saying verbally the idea of, you know, these wrestlers going for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, why of all of the roster has Impact chosen Jake Something? Now, don't get me wrong, Jake Something is a very talented guy. I'm a big fan of his work. I like what he presents. I like what he brings to the ring. But if you're going to scream dream match to me, like matches we had last week at Multiverse United 2, what we saw Multiverse United WrestleMania weekend, Jake Something is just not the name I had in mind. Obviously, you can think of other wrestlers that could be going for this instead. Think of the likes of an Eddie Edwards, who's competed in Japan before. Perhaps someone like Frankie Kazarian, great experience, could be good on the roster. People that are involved in other matches already. We're talking Josh Alexander would be a great one here, although I understand you wouldn't want him to lose at this moment. Moose is a name that's been, you know, solidified with Impact Wrestling since 2016. You know, there were some great talent on the roster. Perhaps Bullet Club members like ABC, who are not currently booked for this show. Ace Austin would have been a great one to go for the championship here. For me, it just doesn't make sense that it's Jake Something. Now, don't get me wrong, the guy, like I said, is very talented, but he's just returned back to the company, and what has he done to deserve the opportunity? It just doesn't make sense for me. I'm missing that something, if that makes sense. Still, I think it will be a good match. Like I said, Sanada was very critical with Jungle Boy Jack Perry being the opponent of Forbidden Door. I would imagine and again, it's speculation on my point that he would be the same here with Jake something. However, someone will have to lose to Sanada. That's clear. He's coming in. He's the big name coming in. Someone is going to put him over. He's the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion after all. Sanada will be my prediction to retain. I still think it'll be a good match. I just think that it's a bit of a missed opportunity from Impact. This could have been a big time match, which I think could have got a lot of people talking still. I just think now, even for New Japan viewers, perhaps maybe they'll just sit and go, Sanada's going there against Jake something. Probably be alright, but no need to check it out, and I think that's where I feel there's the missed opportunity here. Let's move on next then to the Knockouts World Tag Team Championships. Defending in a four-way, we've got MK Ultra, the champions, going against Gisele Shaw and Savannah Evans. We've got the Coven along with the Dollz. Now, Shaw and Evans were the original challengers here. Picking up a victory in singles competition was Gisele Shaw against Masha Slamovich. Of course, Killer Kelly was actually trying to even out the playing field during that match, but was to no luck. Gisele Shaw picking up the win and granting them to a World Tag Team Championship opportunity for the Knockouts division. But of course, there were two other teams that confronted Santino Marella. Of course, the Coven picking up a big victory over Trinity and Deonna Purrazzo, which got them their title opportunity. And of course, the Dollz defeated Gisele Shaw and Savannah Evans in a 6-person tag team match at Slammiversary. So all teams are in this match here, and I think personally, looking at it, I think this is just to delay MK Ultra against Shaw and Evans for another day. Put all these teams here in the mix. You've got one of the, let's say, other teams that could take the fall here. For example, the Dollz, the Coven have been tag team champions, the Knockouts tag team champions throughout a lot of the summer already. So it doesn't hurt for one of these two teams to take the fall, for MK Ultra to retain. You could get new tag team champions, therefore MK Ultra would perhaps maybe chase Shaw and Evans going into Bound for Glory. However, I'm a big fan of the MK Ultra team of Slamovich and Kelly, how they got together. For me, I want to see them have a strong reign as Knockouts World Tag Team Champions, so I'm going to predict them to retain here. We'll move on to the Digital Media Championship. Yes, Kenny King will be defending against Johnny Swinger. Of course, Swinger actually had a match against Zicky Dice. The loser leaves Impact match, of course, so Zicky lost that match and he had to leave, which means Johnny Swinger finally got himself a championship opportunity. With the world title in mind, he was going to go for that until Kenny King declared himself champion of the galaxy. So Swinger's focus has now gone on to the Digital Media Championship. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I would pop big time. I love the graphic that's been done for this match as well. It looks sort of proper old school, looks proper fun. I would go crazy if Johnny Swinger won it. I just think it'd be awesome, but to be honest with you, it feels too good to be true. Sheldon Jean will be in the corner of Kenny King, therefore I think Kenny King will be retaining. Lastly, let's talk about the main event of this show then, the rematch, a match that I'm really looking forward to seeing. Trinity versus Deonna Purrazzo, the Knockouts World Championship. Of course, Trinity proving that if you bet on yourself, you can achieve your wildest dreams. She beat Deonna Purrazzo to become the new Knockouts World Champion at Slammiversary. Of course, Deonna Purrazzo didn't take too long in letting her know that the rematch clause was in place and Emergence was the destination for that match. To be honest, everyone knows I never bet against Deonna Purrazzo, but I'm going to. I did at Slammiversary. Trinity was a big get for Impact Wrestling, leaving WWE, betting on herself, coming to Impact Wrestling. She's a big name, obviously. She's someone that's actually proven as well in a short time that she can actually make a difference for Impact as well. I'm intrigued to see what Trinity will do as the Knockouts World Champion long term. I think that she'll actually beat Deonna Purrazzo for a second straight match here. She's already had a match against Gisele Shaw, so I'm interested to see who she'll be taking on next going into Bound for Glory season. Who would you like to see Trinity take on in Impact Wrestling? Let me know the dream matches in the comments below right now. But that's all from me anyway. Thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, make sure to hit the like button, share with a friend, subscribe if you're new to the channel as well. Half of the people watching these videos currently are not subscribed to this channel, so make sure to change that today. Hit the subscribe button, takes 2 seconds, doesn't cost a penny, it doesn't cost a cent depending where you are in the world. It is free to do so. You know, videos each and every time they are released on this channel, whether it's to do with Impact Wrestling, WWE, AEW, and much, much more. Check out the videos on the side of your screen right now. Thank you for watching as always. Enjoy the rest of your day. You'll be watching SCW here on YouTube. All the best and enjoy Emergence this Sunday.